Right, I've downloaded a Scratch file called Circles Out of Squares, and I'm just going to play around with it to teach logo. Now the first thing I'm going to do, this particular file creates this pattern by clicking on the B, and it creates several patterns, but we're just going to delete a lot of these. So I'm going to take away, just going to take it down to there, remove all of that, and I'm just going to chuck all that in the bin. I'll probably save all of that. We're only going to use this part. Right, when the B is clicked, it's going to clear the screen, it's going to go to the center of the screen, it's going to select a number of rotations. If I click it, you'll see what happens. It's clearing it. The complexity, it's chosen a random number to rotate. The size, again, is chosen a random number. Pen size, again, between 0 and 3, a random number. Then put the pen down, and what it's actually doing is drawing a repeated square. You can see here this says repeat 4 times. Again, the size of the square is random, turning 90 degrees, and it repeats that 4 times. Once it's completed the first square, it then does a random rotation and has a random color change. Okay, right, what we're going to do is play around and alter some of these. So the first thing we're going to do is just drag that down, and I'm going to take the complexity pick a random out. Take the random out. We're now going to choose, actually I'm going to attach the clear. Instead of it being a random number, I'm going to choose about 10. So it'll draw the square 10 times. See the difference? You see it's only done it 10 times now. The pen size, it's chosen a pen size, which is random. I'm going to take the pen size random out and set my pen size to 3. I'll show you the difference. So again, it's going to do it 12 times, but with a fatter pen size this time. Ah, that's interesting. That's because I set the complexity. Ah, that was the size rather than the pen size. Right, let's remove that. Pen size to 3. Take the size, he was actually rotating a really tiny line. Let's take that up to 50 we'll go to. So the actual size of the square is 50. Try it again. So there it is, fatter pen size. It's gone round 10 times and it was size 50. What I'm going to do now is just move that down, get rid of the clear, so that when it repeats it now, this image that's already there will not clear. Instead of 50, I'm going to take it up to 75, so that the square will be larger. Try it again. And you can see it's now done as 75. We'll do it again. And this time we'll make it 100. We won't go any more than 100, otherwise it will start going off the screen. In fact, I'll just see whether 100 goes off the screen. No, I'm just about fit 100 in. If we're pushing it, we might go 120, see what happens. There we go. That's obviously the limit is 120. You can see it's beginning to make a really nice sort of picture. Okay. Right, so we've removed all these random. We'll leave the random pen size. It's doing a random rotation, so at the moment it's choosing. I'm going to take that out. I'll keep the complexity, but take away the random. And if it turns 50, I'll just make it 45. So if it turns 45 after it's done the first one, it should in theory only do 8 turns. Okay, in which case there's no point having the complexity to more than 10. I'll just click clear. I'll keep it at 10 to show you what happens, but once it's done the 8, it'll carry on for a further 2. So it's done the 8, and then it's done a further 2. So if I actually make that to 8, I'll click clear. Now when I do it, when it gets to the 8th turn, it should stop. Yeah, and it has done. Okay, let's turn it instead of 45. I make that 30 on a 360 degrees circle. So 30, how many would it, in fact, if I make that 36, it should in theory turn 10 times. So let's just see. So if I make that now 10, actually I'll leave it at 8 just to see, to show you that it will be short. So click clear. If it only does 8, it's not going to do the complete circle. Yeah, and we have a slightly incomplete, so it needs to be 10. Any more than 10, it'll just be repeating itself. Click clear, try it again. And there we go, the complete circle. So you can play around. At the moment we're still doing squares. What I'm going to do now is click clear, and instead of repeating a square, let's make that into repeat 6 times and turn 60 degrees, so we make a hexagon. Try it now. So this time we should have a hexagon. Now it is getting too big, so click clear. So it definitely doesn't like being that big, so let's take it down to 50 and see what happens this time. Yeah, that's better. So now we've got the hexagon, repeating hexagon. Okay, I'm going to leave it on. We're going to change it to 75, so it's going to make another pattern. And let's change the complexity down to 5, which means we need to change that to 72, turning 72 degrees. Try it now. That's right, and we've then got only 5 shapes. Okay, we're going to change the random colours. Quite pretty having like that. The stage, of course, is black, because then the rainbow colours show up better. Okay.